I was 14 years old, 8th grade, the last year of middle school. Math class was in session. Long, boring, endless. Outside the window, the sky was completely gray. Not like it was cloudy, but like someone had hung a slab of dull stone over the entire world. The teacher was explaining some equation, but his voice had turned into background noise, a low hum in my head. I wasn't really there anymore. I just wanted to get out, breathe, stretch my legs, or maybe just escape that dead, suffocating boredom. I raised my hand. "Sir, can I go to the bathroom?" He barely looked up, just nodded. I got up and grabbed the wooden pass hanging by the door, the one that said, "Bathroom," in big, faded black letters. When I stepped out into the hallway, it was silent. The kind of silence that only happens in schools during class time. Long, empty corridors, my footsteps echoing on the tiles, the flicker of ceiling lights humming faintly above. I turned the corner and saw a sign taped to the bathroom door. "Out of order. Use upstairs or downstairs restroom." Ha! I sighed under my breath. Great. I was about to head downstairs when I heard a voice behind me. "Hey kid, you know where the nearest bathroom is?" I turned around. A man stood there, maybe in his late 30s or early 40s. He had a rough stubble, wearing an old brown coat, his hair messy, and something strange about his smile, like he was trying too hard to look friendly. I said, yeah, this one's closed. You can use the one upstairs, or the one down in the lower hall." "Huckles," he smiled. "Thanks, kid," and walked away toward the stairs. His steps were slow, almost careful, like he was thinking about each one before taking it. I watched him for a second. He didn't look like a teacher, didn't look like a parent either. Maybe someone from maintenance? Whatever. I shrugged and went downstairs. The empty bathroom. The lower floor was even quieter. That part of the building was mostly used by the sports teams, locker rooms, showers, and a few old restrooms nobody liked using. I pushed the bathroom door open. Inside was darkness. The lights were off as usual. I took a few steps in, the smell of damp tiles, faint bleach, and something metallic. I closed the door behind me and headed to one of the stalls. I locked it, sat down, and just tried to breathe for a minute. Honestly, I just wanted a few minutes of peace. Then, a flash of light hit my eyes. At first, I thought maybe the lights had flickered on, but no, it was pulsing in a rhythm. Then came the sound. Woo, woo, woo. The fire alarm. My heart jumped. Oh no, the fire drill. I'd completely forgotten about it. Okay, fine, I muttered to myself. No one's gonna know. I'll just wait it out here. But the alarm was so loud it rattled the metal hinges of the stalls. The red strobe lights from the hallway flashed through the gap under the door, blinking in slow, steady bursts. Ha! I leaned my head back inside. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy. Thud, thud, thud. Someone had entered the bathroom. At first, I assumed it was a teacher, maybe checking if anyone was left behind. I saw a pair of shoes through the gap under the door, black, worn out, and covered in scuffs. I swallowed and said softly, "Sir, I'm in here." No answer. The shoes didn't move. They just stayed there. Seconds passed, 10, maybe 20, and then I saw something. Through the tiny crack between the stall door and the frame, a face, an eye, staring directly at me, wide open, unblinking. My stomach dropped. Every sound in the world disappeared except for my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Then, a laugh. A low, quiet, choking laugh. My hands trembled. I couldn't even breathe. The face disappeared for a second, then reappeared, lower this time. He was crouching, moving down. Before I could even react, he slid under the stall. It was him, the man from the hallway. He lunged forward and clamped his hand over my mouth. His skin was damp, cold, his breath reeking of sweat and something sour, like spoiled milk and cigarettes. He whispered, "Don't scream. It'll be over fast if you stay quiet." My brain froze. I couldn't think, couldn't move. I tried to kick him, Tried to push him off, but he was strong, much stronger than I expected. Then, the fire alarm blared even louder, and suddenly, the bathroom door swung open. "Is anyone in here?" It was Mr. Richards, the principal. I tried to scream, but my voice came out strained, strangled. Still, it was enough. The man's eyes went wide. He let go of me, scrambled up, and shoved the door open. Mr. Richards barely had time to react. The man bolted past him, sprinting down the hall and vanishing around the corner. The principal ran a few steps after him but stopped. He was old, out of breath. I was left sitting on the cold tile floor, shaking uncontrollably. Tears were already running down my face before I even realized it. Mr. Richards came back, crouched down beside me, and gently put his hand on my shoulder. "Are you okay, son?" he said, his voice trembling. I couldn't speak, I just nodded. He helped me up, holding my hand like I was 5 again. "Come on, let's call your parents." When we stepped out, the fire drill was ending. Students were walking back inside, laughing, talking, and there I was, pale, eyes wet, the principal guiding me through the crowd. No one said a word, they just stared. By the time we reached the front office, my parents were already there, the police too. Mr. Richards explained everything. The man had apparently pulled the fire alarm himself to clear the building. He'd used the chaos to sneak inside, but somehow, by the time police checked the security cameras, nothing showed. No one matching his description had been seen entering or leaving the school. It was like he had vanished into thin air. I didn't sleep properly for months. Every time the school alarm went off, even years later, my whole body would tense up. I'd feel that same eye watching me through the stall door. Years later, time passed. High school, college, work, life moved on. But some nights when I close my eyes, I still see that crack in the stall door and the pale, unblinking eye staring back at me. 5 years later, I found out Mr. Richards had passed away, a heart attack. When I read the news, something inside me broke a little, because I knew if he hadn't come into that bathroom at that exact second, I probably wouldn't be alive. Now, every time I drive past that old school, I stop for a moment. I look at the front doors. I can't go in. Sometimes I dream I'm back there. The alarm is blaring, the lights flashing red, and through that tiny gap, that same face appears again. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. Then I wake up, drenched in sweat, heart pounding, my throat dry. Maybe that man's gone. Maybe he was caught. Or maybe he's still out there, somewhere, waiting for another drill, another quiet hallway, another empty bathroom. Because sometimes, when a fire alarm goes off, I swear, I can still feel him watching me. Fire drills were meant to keep us safe, but for some of us, they opened doors that were never meant to be opened. Even now, whenever I pass by my old high school building, a strange chill runs down my spine. That same decaying shack, that same wall blackened with mold, and those silent trees swaying behind it. Everything looks the same, except now, no one goes there anymore, because what I saw there, I can never forget. It happened back in 2009. I was a student at Eastfield High, an old damp school known for its cracked walls and eerie atmosphere. To us, though, it was just another place where we spent our days laughing, goofing around, and trying to survive boring classes. We were 4 friends, me, Adam, Liam, Tom, and Aaron. Each of us was different in our own way, but there was one thing we all had in common. We loved the thrill of doing something forbidden. That day, the school had a fire drill, the usual fake alarm they tested twice a year. As the bell rang, everyone marched out to the field in neat lines while the teachers counted heads. That's when Liam leaned close to me and whispered, "Adam, this is our chance. Let's sneak out, behind the field." I frowned. "Behind? You mean near that sump?" He smirked. "Yeah, we'll have a quick smoke. No one's gonna notice before the roll call's over." I hesitated for a moment, but Tom and Aaron were already grinning, so I followed. We slipped away from the line, moving quietly past the fence where the school grounds ended. Behind it was a stretch of wild, overgrown land, and right in the middle of it, a muddy sump where rainwater collected. Beside it stood an old, rotten shack. People said someone once lived there, but no one ever saw who. We sat near the sump. Liam pulled out a cigarette, and Tom fumbled for a lighter. Aaron chuckled nervously. Man, if Mr. Doyle sees us, we're dead. Liam shrugged, lighting up. Relax, dude. This place isn't even part of school anymore. Look around. It's basically wilderness. He pointed toward the trees behind the shack. It was dark there. The branches swayed, making whispery sounds. That's when I noticed it. Something moved. A face, half hidden behind a tree trunk, staring at us. Did you guys see that? I said quietly. Someone's there. They laughed it off. Probably a squirrel, man. Stop scaring yourself. But it wasn't a squirrel. For just a second, I saw it clearly. Pale skin, sunken eyes, and then it was gone, like it had melted into the shadows. Let's check the shack out, Liam said, curiosity gleaming in his eyes. I shook my head. No way, that place looks unsafe. But they were already heading toward it. The shack was made of rotting wood and rusty tin sheets. The windows had no glass, just gaping, empty holes. The door was half broken, hanging loosely on one hinge. The moment we stepped inside, a horrible smell hit us, like something had died in there long ago. It was dark except for a thin beam of light cutting through a crack in the roof. Old newspapers, shattered bottles, and half-buried shoes lay scattered on the dirt floor. Aaron tried to joke. Maybe someone did die here. He laughed, but his voice trembled slightly. Then I saw it, a scratch mark on the wall, like someone had written something using their nails. I moved closer, wiped the dust, and read aloud, "Don't look at him." My heart skipped a beat. What the hell? Suddenly, a deafening crack of thunder shook the place. For a split second, the whole shack flashed white, and that's when we saw it. Through the back window, a face, twisted, deformed. The skin looked burned. Its hollow eyes stared right at us. The mouth was open, like it was silently screaming. We froze, then it vanished. Liam yelled, "Run!" We bolted out of the shack and ran blindly through the mud. My legs felt heavy, my chest tight. In the distance, I could hear the school bell. The fire drill was ending. But just as we reached the edge of the field, I turned back. Between the trees, another face. Not the same one. This one was smaller, like a child's. White, blank. Its eyes, completely empty. It just stood there, staring at us. Then it faded into the mist. We climbed over the fence and rushed back into the school grounds, breathless, trembling, and silent. No one spoke. No one laughed. We just looked at each other and made a silent pact. We never go back there again. Not to the sump. Not to that shack. It's been over 10 years now. I've moved out of town. Liam joined the Navy. Tom, he hasn't been mentally stable since that day. And Aaron, he doesn't talk to anyone anymore. Sometimes we chat briefly online and one of us just types, "Remember the shack?" And then, nothing. Just silence. Last month I got a message from an old classmate. He said while building the new sports field, the workers dug up a human skull. Burnt. Old. Police made a report, but nothing ever came of it. That night, I couldn't sleep. The words scratched on that wall kept echoing in my head. Don't look at him. Maybe he's still there, behind the school, beyond the trees, waiting for the next group of curious kids. And if you ever see a face in the flash of lightning, don't look back, because if you see him, he'll see you too. That day was oddly quiet. Heavy clouds hung low over the field. The air smelled like rain, and even the classrooms felt heavier than usual. We all knew a fire drill was coming. I was sitting in study hall with my best friend, Kyle, the kind of guy who always needed to push a boundary. He leaned close to me and whispered, "Jason, Let's finally find out what's down there. I frowned. Down where? The basement hallway? He grinned. Yeah, the one that's always locked. During the drill, everyone will be outside. It's now or never. For a second, I hesitated. My stomach turned cold. Then I nodded. Let's do it. When the alarm finally rang, the hallways erupted in noise. Red lights flashed against the walls. Teachers yelled instructions while students filed out toward the field. Kyle and I slipped away through the side corridor, the one that led toward the old basement door. It was a thick metal one, covered in rust. Most days it was padlocked, but today it wasn't. We pushed it open. The hinges screamed like something alive. A short flight of concrete steps led downward into a long, dark hallway. The smell hit us first. Damp air mixed with rust and old dust. Water dripped somewhere in the distance. The floor echoed under our shoes. At the end of the hallway, a huge door stood out. Spray painted across it in faded red letters were the words, "Do not enter." Kyle looked at me with that reckless smile. If we turn back now, we'll regret it forever. He shoved the door. It groaned, resisted, then finally gave way. The sound of rust scraping against metal echoed like a scream, and beyond it was pure darkness. We stepped in, our phone flashlights slicing through the black. It looked like an old storage room, piles of broken boards, discarded pipes, and a massive metal vent embedded in the far wall. Kyle frowned. "You hear that?" I stopped breathing. There it was, a faint metallic clicking, like something tapping over and over. Tick. Then came a different sound, a slow, steady breathing. Not ours. Deep, heavy, like someone was standing just behind that vent. I whispered, "There's someone in there." Kyle crouched beside me, squinting through the slats. Maybe a rat, or water pipes. But I knew better. That wasn't a pipe. It sounded alive. I leaned closer, holding my phone near the vent to peek inside. And that's when something grabbed my ear. I screamed, loud enough to drown out the fading fire alarm. Kyle yanked me backward. We both fell, and my flashlight hit the floor. A hand shot through the vent. Thin, pale, impossibly long fingers, nails scraping the metal as it reached for us. Then, just as suddenly, it was gone. Kyle grabbed my arm. "Run! Run!" We bolted up the hallway, our footsteps pounding, echoing like thunder. The door jammed for a second, rust grinding under my hands. I slammed it shut just as something hit it from the other side. We didn't stop until we reached the first floor. The alarm was still ringing faintly outside. The halls were empty. We ducked into the bathroom, gasping for air. Kyle's face was white as chalk. What the hell was that? There was someone down there, right? I didn't answer. My ear was bleeding, like someone had clawed at it with fingernails. The next morning, we went straight to Tom, the janitor. He'd been working there for over 30 years, a grumpy old man with tired eyes. We told him everything. He stared at us for a long moment, then said quietly, "No one's been down there in decades." I said, "That's impossible. We were just there. We heard breathing. We saw." He cut me off. "That hallway's sealed. The vent doesn't lead outside. It's just wall behind wall. There's no space back there. No one could be inside." I showed him my ear. His eyes went cold. Then he said something I'll never forget. "You're not the first ones, kid. A few boys went down there years ago. One of them never came back." I whispered, "What do you mean?" He looked toward the floor. Police didn't find a body, just blood inside the vent. And then he turned away, refusing to say another word. It's been 10 years now, but sometimes at night I still hear it, that faint metallic clicking. Sometimes from the vents in my own room. Whenever I lean close, I swear I can hear breathing on the other side. Kyle doesn't talk to me anymore. He left town after graduation. I saw his Facebook once. The only post on his profile read, "Never look behind the vent." Fire drills were meant to keep us safe, but for some of us, they opened doors that were never meant to be opened.